I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not.
The dark, sick world of Jeffrey Epstein did not disappear after his death. As we hear from the young women who were assaulted by Epstein, recruited by Ghislaine Maxwell, and further attacked by Trump and his friends, well, there is now a line that clearly defines what Republicans must do. Either listen, empathize, and find justice for the multiple victims of these monsters, or go with Trump, who is obviously hiding more.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Do you have no shame?
Mr. President, right now there have been survivors of Jeffrey Epstein speaking at a press conference on Capitol Hill. They're calling for these case files, these documents to be released. And Thomas Massie, who is sponsoring a discharge position to get the House to vote on the release of those documents, says he doesn't believe you're implicated in these files, but many of your friends and donors may be, and he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow-walking the release. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success. Nobody's going to talk about because they're going to talk about the Epstein, whatever. Sir, I understand that we were subpoenaed to give files, and I understand we've given thousands of pages of files. And I know that no matter what you do, it's going to keep going. And I think it's enough because I think we should talk about the greatness of our country and the success that we're having. I think we're probably having, according to what I read, even from two people in this room, we're having the most successful 8 months of any president ever. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what we should be talking about, not the Epstein hoax.
When are you going to make a decision on Ukraine, Mr. President?
Dairy Queen, a.k.a. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is about as bright as a broken bulb in a dark closet, is trying to get on the right side of this despite her continued allegiance to this guy, who is neck deep in all of it.
So the connection between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein isn't new news. Trump admitted he knew Epstein for 15 years, even stating that Epstein, quote, likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. Trump and Epstein were sued by a woman who went by the pseudonym Katie Johnson. Johnson alleged that Trump raped her at a party inside Epstein's New York home. And then there was another woman. Her name was Sarah Ransom. She claimed in 2016 that Trump and others were involved in Epstein's sex trafficking scheme.
Today, Dairy Queen appeared outside the Capitol with Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna and Republican Congressman Thomas Massie, who have been pushing to release the Epstein lists and the Epstein files. Here's Ro Khanna and Massie speaking earlier today.
How is it possible that in the richest, most powerful country in the world, there are corrupt special interest forces, both foreign or domestic, that are preventing the release, that have a stranglehold on our government and are preventing the release of the full Epstein files? There is something that is rotten.
The Washington establishment is asking the American public to believe something that is not believable. They're asking you to believe that two individuals created hundreds of victims and they acted alone, and that the DOJ has no idea of who else might have been involved, that nobody else did anything that rose to a criminal enterprise. The American people know that's not true. Now, the Speaker of the House just offered a fig leaf to my colleagues. They're going to vote on a non-binding resolution today that does absolutely nothing. I appreciate the efforts of my colleague James Comer, who's leading the Oversight Committee. They may find some information, but they're allowing the DOJ to curate all of the information that the DOJ is giving them. If you've looked at the pages they've released so far, they're heavily redacted. Some pages are entirely redacted.
As Marjorie Taylor Greene waited to speak, however, members of the audience greeted her with chants of shame.
Marjorie, this will not save you, Marjorie.
This will not save you, Marjorie. We support the victims, not the rapists.
And what I want to know, what we want to know, is what did Marjorie Taylor Greene know before
So what we're beginning to see now is the slow disintegration of MAGA and the rise of a dictator. While Republicans feel the weight of these depraved acts on their party and their futures, and while Trump continues to push back, they are beginning to see and feel the shame and the numbers. 75% of Republicans want the list and the names made public, which is remarkable. I mean, it's remarkable that there's 25% that don't. So Republicans find themselves in an awkward position, like Dairy Queen. I mean, she came onto the scene sounding like the head injury we have come to discover.
And the so-called plane that crashed into the Pentagon. It's odd, there's never any evidence shown for a plane in the Pentagon.
But give Dairy Queen some credit. She pushed back on the big, beautiful bill after not reading it and then voting for it and then reading it and finding out that it would hurt her constituents. And now she's pushing back even harder on the Epstein hoax.
And this is because this is an issue that matters so much to Americans. This is an issue that doesn't have political boundaries. It's an issue that Republicans and Democrats should never fight about. As a matter of fact, it's such an important issue that it should bring us all together. It's grieved me to watch the arguments and debates take place among my colleagues and even the administration. I think this is something that was worth fighting for.
But of course, it is Trump who is making it political. Now, I do believe that 99% of Republicans feel what happened to these young girls by these fucking monsters is wrong. But their silence was and is deafening and emblematic of their weakness and lack of character and conviction.
I think the time has come for the administration to release all of the files.
Release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
Hey, look, here's what we know. The women have named Trump as a person who stole their innocence in these brutal assaults. Trump lied about being on the Epstein plane called the Lolita Express.
In 2021, as part of Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, it was revealed that Donald Trump lied about riding on Epstein's plane. He actually flew on it 7 times, but the flight logs do not include the ages of the passengers.
And Trump is treating Maxwell like a long-lost cousin.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and so a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well.
And now Trump is discussing whether or not he should pardon her, which begs the question, why would you not view her as the monster she is instead of like someone who could hurt you with the truth? 20 women testified that as young teenagers, Maxwell brought them to Epstein, who then assaulted them, and others saw Maxwell stop by junior high schools and recruit these young girls. Why wouldn't Trump do everything he could to make all of this known, and why would he consider pardoning her?
I was 14.
And how did you first encounter either Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell?
Through friends. It was very normal, I guess. Through friends.
And where were you? This was in Florida?
Yes.
And did you go to the home in Palm Beach? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes. I went to the home in Palm Beach.
Okay. And what were you involved in there? What did he ask you to do?
I'm not really comfortable answering that.
Okay.
It's the same as if you follow the story, you know what I was asked to do.
MAGA may be able to tolerate deporting 9-year-old cancer victims who are U.S. citizens to foreign countries because they're brown skin, but these victims are for the most part white suburban women who, when they were young, underage teens, were dealt by Maxwell to Epstein, Trump, Prince Andrew, and even this fuckstick Alan Dershowitz.
Okay, that was in my wife's calendar. My wife scheduled a massage. If you think my wife scheduled a massage with an underage sex slave, then you'll believe anything. No,
other calendar entries.
Let me finish.
You guys clarify that other calendar entries had a collective.
Let me finish. I was a visiting scholar at NYU. My wife had a professional masseuse. We have checks, canceled checks, proving that the massage occurred, when it occurred, who it occurred with. And I've had very, very few massages in my life, one at Jeffrey Epstein's house.
The bottom line is easy to see. The Republican Party and MAGA know what's happening, and they're too weak to stand up to Trump's sick and current past. They knew what he was capable of, or thought they did, because I have a question for you. We know Trump learned from Bannon to distract when the heat is turned up. So with all that in mind, what Trump is doing now begins to make sense. If there was evidence and witnesses out there that witnessed you with 13-year-old girls, What would you do? How about make up lies about an immigrant invasion and send thousands of National Guard troops to Democratic cities and threaten the people, the politicians, and the Constitution? Why? Because Trump is saying, don't look over there, look over here. And the truth is coming in like a tsunami.
No crime, no murders, no nothing. Because we had a lot of problems with certain places, and we still do. All run by Democrats, or for the most part run by Democrats. So what they're trying to do with the Epstein hoax is get people to talk about that instead of speaking about the tremendous success like ending 7 wars. I ended 7 wars.
While the truth is here for us to see, the question is, do the Republicans have the guts to admit that Trump's damage to our nation would never have happened were it not for them?
Are you not entertained?
Goddamn right.
It's sitting on my desk.
Who are you talking to?
I could be a stupid person.
Trump admitted he knew Epstein for 15 years.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein?
Do you have no shame?
I'm sorry, man.
It's not fair.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.